Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is a special video that I'll be doing, and I do plan to make more like this. So I I, I will be reviewing my own gameplay where I beat three pro players, and one of them being a former teacher of mine in the jungle named Rat Milk. And this was a so this game had no commentary from me because I was just very locked in. So so I hear my targeter is on Achilles, but I don't want it to be on him, so I changed it to 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 Poseidon. Because not only is Poseidon my easiest gank in the game, but it's also Zapman. And in ranked, if you know who you're fighting, then you know how they play. And Zapman loves to just he, he loves to walk up, and he's almost always a a free gank in ranked. So I plan on camming him this game, because if I were to go on the Hun bots, he has a jump and an ult, and it could be pretty hard to go on him. This Merlin is also a potential gank, but there's usually but he has his dash and his own knockup, which could be pretty hard for me to really stick to him, which did end up happening later on this game. Now there's Achilles as well, but he wants like a build defense, so he's less of an option. Uh, But if you do gank him, then it could be good because Quebecan has a lot of CC, and if this guy tries to just ult away, then my Quebecan could buck him off on it. And then there's Baron, who's the support. He's immobile, so if I do catch him out, then if he's out of position and I catch him out, he should be a if he kill. But if he positions well, then it's not really worth going on a support here. So I do the boost out here with my Quebecan because I want to contest this mid camp. This is a really good lobby here. Alright, so right here, I start pressing tab, and and the reason why I'm pressing tab is to see the gold count of the enemy jungler, which is the exact same as mine, which means he also did the blue start as well. And because I know he's doing the blue start, he's also he'll most likely meet me here and contest his buff. And the idea here was that me and Vulcan should outsecure them. We should be able to outsecure this ripper from them, and when the 2v2 fight, if they do decide to go on us. And that's why I and that's why that I wanted to do the blue start here. So the start is blue to red to these wards, and then this camp or not. I also only bought one health potion because usually in ranked I like to collect two of these jungle camp boards as well as this ping buff right here, so I can sell them in base. I don't really use them at all because I feel like I have a good enough map awareness to know where the e- 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 enemies are, and that's why I only buy one health potion. Because if I buy two or three, not only will I be down 50 or 100 gold, I also cannot pick up both the wards and the ping camp here. So I start with my two, and I leveled my jump here because I feel like that they if they do decide to go on us and we do somehow lose the fight, then it can jump away because these are two really good players. Now going the sun is also fine here, and it's also good secure. All right, and right here, what ended up happening was they they recognize the fact that they can't really beat us for this buff, so so right here they both shove the Raven, and they start rotating over to do my camps down here. Now there are two potential plays I could do. One is I could answer their rotation and start invading them up here, but they have a mini wave, so they will know that they have a deep path up here. Then they will both just back off from these camps and just fight me here. And then there's option two where which is what I do right here, and just answer their little cheese rotation here. So they did end up getting this work camp away from me, and because of this, they not only get these oracles as well, but they also take this because they're both in comms. And this is also another reason why I don't really like to do the blue star to contest his camps because the because there leaves a potential for them to invade my stuff down here. I press tab here to see what to, to see what they have. Just normal just normal jungle starts. And my Bari gets a kill and left, so there's no need for me to rotate all the way over here. So right here, I I just focus on my backs. And also one other thing that I do here, hold on, I press tab again because there's potential for the Humpbats to gank the dual lane. And so I press tab again to see his gold count, which is 2069. Because there are two plays he could make right here. Since they just got these oracles, he's most likely around either the ward camp or he could look to gank dual lane. And by the time that I press tab again, his gold just spiked, which means he just did a camp. So I'm not worried about my dual lane getting ganked by him here. And because they have and because they are dominating this lane, I don't bother going to this camp right here because because my dual lane should most likely get it, and if I just take it from them, then it's not gonna be worth when these camps are up. So I just rotate all the way down here to do these back camps. I'm also going the exact same build that I went in my first Kali video, which I still think is one of the best Kali builds to go. So just because it has everything that you could want except for maybe like tank shredding. Alright, so I look to so so this guy was low, and because of my rotation, there's no camps to do in the map. There's nothing to do, and they just getting dual lane again. And I don't go to mid lane because my Vulcan's pushing him out, and the minions will take a while to 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 meet up. So I come over here to this Achilles because the plan is for me to because he has 1 HP right here, and the goal is for me to blink a 3 and maybe oh my god, the goal is to blink 3 him, and if he's still alive, I'll just auto, and then I'll jump over the wall and be fine. I press tab again to see. I, I press tab right here to see what his build is, and he only has Bluestone and 0 defense, which means this gank should almost always it should almost always be free, and he has no health potions right now. So there's either one ticking or or he's not healing at all. And so I I commit here. Now this bot does jump in, and since he goes in first, I have the actually wait right here to make sure that this Achilles will step up, and he does step up here, and so I just blink through him, and he's just dead. He backs off here because he cannot win this 1v2 fight. So I just and since I'm here, I don't bother going away. I'll just split this farm with him. Because if I do leave him behind, and if he does stay, then he could die to the Hunbats. And this right here is secure farm. Like all this stuff is all like this one camp, these minions and these packs are now all secured. So right here, since he's losing the engagement here, he has to deal with this minion wave because if he leaves and backs off, then this minion wave will be lost to tower. So he's forced to now stay and defend that wave. I look to gank left here, and right here I go on the very edge to make sure he can't hear me teleporting. Uh, uh, I'm not sure how long the sound range is, so I come over here to look for a gank on this dual lane. Because then again, well, like I said before, it's that man on Poseidon, and he's also a really easy gank for Kali. And and I chose to actually do these camps first, and the reason why that I chose to do these camps was there is potential that the Hunbats could have there's potential that the Hunbats could have told them that I was teleporting over, and if he did tell them, and if they were listening, then they would just then they would both stay inside of the tower, which means I can't kill them. And also because the mini waves have not met yet. And the best time to gank as a jungler is when the minions is when both mini waves meet, because both laners will want to clear the minions as soon as they can. Because if I were to just try to like gank them right now, they have no reason to even step up right now. But with the mini waves being there, they do have a reason to step up. But just in case that the gank here fails, I'll at least grab these camps here. Because if I were to gank and it fails, then then th- then this play would just turn into me splitting this farm with them, which is bad. So I'm at least getting something out of this, just in case the gank does fail. I'm getting this guaranteed farm, which is a nice amount of XP. Alright, they're both level 4 here, and I have my ult. So not only is this a 3v2, but we're stronger here, and they have no idea that I'm here. I jump, I stun him. He gets gone on. Now, I actually did think about ulting right before Poseidon uses his one on me, just to make sure he does not knock me back. But I saw the servers was stepping up, and it, it, and they're both just dead here. Now right here, I do ult because I was worried that this Baron would not take enough damage for me when I do jump on him. I also for the extra tick damage, even though it's not much. I just wanted to make sure that he dies here. So right here, I start backing. Now there's potential for me to invade this purple buff because the purple timer, but both purple timers are the same. So if I do stay here and invade the purple buff, it will be guaranteed, and it will put this Poseidon a bit further behind. But they both just died, so I leave the decision up to my dual lane. But I start backing right here because my blue and red buffs are gonna spawn, and if I'm not there when they spawn, then the enemy jungler could invade them from me, which you do not want to do. You always want to be uh, on your buffs whenever they spawn. Alright, I sell myself here to get my sunbeam bow. I teleport to mid because because I want to make sure that I'm here on time. Because if it spawns right now, and if I don't teleport, and if the huntbots is here, then I won't have enough time for to out secure from him, and he'll just run to his side to his side of the jungle. So right here, I ping this camp, and then I notice they both dive my Vulcan here, because I'm guessing their plan was to not only kill him, but to then get priority on invading my red buff. So the Humbots does take a lot of damage, and because they didn't know that I'm here, I just wait around this corner for him to jump. Because right now he just used all of his abilities, and he's about to jump, which means as long as I hit my stuff here, he's just always dead. I somehow didn't. I started laughing. I started laughing on him because he's my buddy, and we're cool with each other. And because the Vulcan's dead, I want to make sure that these camps are down. And the Cerberus does force this Merlin out, and he's here, so I thought about doing this camp, but the Humbots just spawned, and because my red buff just spawned and he also did the exact same start as I did, I know that this camp is up, and this and so right here, I think I I checked the corner right there to make sure that the Merlin's not gonna contest me for this because I want to make sure I get all. If you want to invade, you want to make sure there's the least risk involved. So now we are 3 man strong here versus their 2, and we outsecure them, so this buff is just free. Now right here, I do misplay here. We have the priority. We're 3 versus 2 of them, and the Humpats is most likely pathing this way to his red buff. But right here, I misplay. Wait, actually, no. I'm thinking about a later play. Uh, just, just just ignore what I said. All right. So right here, I ping these neutrals here, these oracles, because I know that they're up. And as a jungler, you always want to contest all the neutral farm because they're not only worth a lot of gold, but there's almost always okay, almost always your camps will be guaranteed for you and your team, but these neutral camps are not guaranteed. And if you secure every single neutral camp, then you will build a solid lead on the eh, you build a solid lead on the enemy team. Like let's say this is a 0 kill game and we have even gold. If my team gets all the neutral camps, then we will have a lead over them. And I want to make sure that these are of cooldown. They start fighting here, and I don't bother helping them in the fight because they're both so close to the tower, and I barely have any mana or anyways to actually kill them. And my ult's not up either. So I just do all my camps here. A- And right here, I do not go to this purple camp. I maybe should have at least checked it to make sure that the Poseidon didn't steal it. But I don't go. But I don't go to it because I want my Bari, my ADC to hit level 20 as fast as she can. So I leave that for her. Now, usually in ranked or in casuals, you want to you want to be very selfish as a jungler, and and maybe look for s- for splitting farm with the mid and your solo laner, but you almost never want to split the farm with your ADC because she she has to hit level 20 first, and when she does hit level 20, then she'll be the most important person in the game. But right now, I am the most important, so I want to make sure that I get as big of a lead as I can because I have the most influence and most impact on the map until late game. I, I press I'm pressing tab a lot here to check what all the builds are on both teams. All right, let's see. So right here, I do notice that Poseidon's going a crit ADC build for Poseidon, which means his his normal abilities will not hurt very hard. Just his autos will. This this Achilles is not going to be very tanky for a while, especially because he went Blue Stone. And I also noticed that the Sunbats went Blink and not Beads, which means if I do go on him and he has no ults, then he has no way to immune my stun, which means I do win that 1v1 fight there. So right now there's no camps on there's no camps to do on the map except for this little back camp here, but it's not worth a a a potential gank on Zapman here. So I so so I do look to gank him because he's almost always a free gank in this game. So right here, right before I blink, I pre-pop my three to get the the pre-pop on the. Okay, I pre-pop my three and then blink because I want to make sure that the three goes off, and it'll also allow me to do my my cave rotation faster. I do the user combo, and right here I start ulting because this Poseidon's first reaction will be to use this one to just push me away. But when Kali uses her ultimate, she's not gonna be immune, which means I'm just gonna I'm just gonna guarantee stick onto him because if he does knock me back, he's really fast and there's potential for him to leave the engagement, and I don't want that. So so before he has the chance to use his one, I pre-ult here, and he's just dead for it. So so they do win this fight in the mid lane, and they're all quite low. I saw this Merlin was 1 HP, so I peek over the wall to see if he's maybe backing on my side of the jungle, but he's all the way over there, so my two's never gonna reach him. And because my Vulcan is not here, I get this wave for him to make sure to make sure that this farm is not lost. The the combat shows up, and I know that I can't win the fight. And if I do fight them, it'll be a waste of time, so I just back off and do my camps here. Yeah, this Vulcan does kind of split my farming with me, which I don't like. Yeah, my 3 does damage now, which is insane. I, Back here, I saw the thing because I don't really need it because we have timers on this red buff. So I have an approximate idea. I have an approximate idea on where this combats could be, and I also worded up here, so I'll also be notified when this word camp spawns. So I have good vision on the map already. I I rep on here looking for a flank angle, and I want to look for a gank, and something really tragic happens right here. Yeah, we don't talk about that one. I say this not poking me out, but it's fine. We just want to pay for that buff, but they do get it sadly. My Bari got soloed. Unfortunate. Oh, and this is the misplay that I was talking about earlier. So right here, they got the buff, and for some reason, I decided to go to the dual lane. No, I, I misplay right here. I decided to go to the solo lane right here and maybe look for a gank, but this guy's not showing up anywhere, and he's just shoving the Raven. I look for a I look for a potential invade, but since this guy's not showing up, since he didn't show up for the wave, he was most likely doing this while the background is here. So I went from here. I walked all the way up here. I walked back here, and I started backing, and I got zero farm, zero XP. And the misplay was I went over here while these oracles were up. I didn't bother contesting them while we were a 3v3, and our 3v3 should be able to beat theirs if my Vulcan has his beats up for the boss ults, and I have my ultimate. But we don't bother. But because I rotated over here and got nothing, they'll get these oracles for free, and securing neutral camps is very very important. But I sadly gave it up, which is a big mistake by me. I at least do get on my speed buff on time here, which is fine.
Your middle tower is under attack.
I call for another gank on this Poseidon. And right here, I am a bit of an asshole, and I do split this. I do take this from my Bari, which is something that you usually never do. All right, and this Poseidon starts backing off because he has wards, and so I decide to back right here because it's a waste of time, and we're never killing this guy, and I don't want to to sit here to I I don't want to sit here for a gank that's never gonna happen, and I also don't want to split this mini wave with my Bari because if she hits late game, she's really strong as you all probably know, she's one of the strongest gods in the game at the moment. So I back right here because it's a waste of time, and this camp is up, and I could get my next power spike here, which is back his harp. And because my Vulcan came all the way down here, they saw him. They saw him come all the way down here, so they looked to gank him. And since they had, and I'm guessing since they had vision, they most likely had two warriors here since the Poseidon started going all the way back. They the Simbots probably thought that I was still over in the in the left lane, which is why he full kits my Vulcan here. And so I take advantage of the fact that he's here. I blink through him. He jumps in place like a madman because he wants to make sure that this Vulcan dies. And because he jumps in place and just ulted and his three is down, As long as I press my Sunbeam Bow toggle and just run at him, he's just dead. There you go. I go on this million here, and this is what I said earlier about, and that's what I said earlier about Merlin being, well, not being my best gank because of his figure in his knockback, which I did. But to be fair, I did misplay this engagement, and I also right here, uh, I, for some reason also right here, because I thought that my tick damage would be enough to kill him, but he does somehow heal a lot. I think he has, I think he does have Soul Gem. I jump by throw my two. I have nothing, so I just back off, and luckily my Cerberus does kill him. And since I have nothing, I just back off and get my next item. Now the reason why did I go Book of Thoth here with my build and not Polynomicon, my third item, is because I ran the numbers in practice mode, and it's one of the it's around the same exact time to kill if you full combo somebody, whether you have Poly or Book of Thoth. So I may as well go Book of Thoth to just stack my book faster. I checked this Achilles' build, and he has Shield Splitter, which is not much protections, and he's half health. So s- s- so I do wait here for him to 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 step up, and sadly he does get away.
Your middle tower is under attack.
I woke up here to check if this is up, and right here my Quebecan said again left lane. He said he would gank left lane and told me to defend right lane, which I don't mind him doing it because right here I see that the mini waves are pushing up, which means this Poseidon will most likely clear it and then just sit here. And especially if this Achilles sees two people coming over here, then he'll most likely uh, he'll most likely BGS to the Poseidon that they're gonna gank him. And because this Quebecan's coming over here, which I which I did plan on coming over here myself, but since he decided to also come over, I do stay here, and I would gladly stay here to get this next mini wave because mini waves are worth a lot of gold and XP,
The enemy
and
team has
because I did and because I did rotate over here, the enemy team saw there was those two people in the solo lane, and so they all decided to go to the. So they shoved mid lane here. I wasted a lot of time here. I didn't kill the Achilles, and they had no vision on a team, so they get a free gold fairy off of it.
the Pyromancer has arrived. The enemy team has destroyed the Gold Fury.
I take this wave here, a lot, a a lot of golden XP. I start running to my back camps here, but sadly my Vulcan's doing it for me, which I don't like. And that comes with a lot of golden NXP. So right here, I jump over the wall. My speed buff is spawning, but I don't go for it because right here I see that the gold free pit does not have the red lights, which means that these oracles are most likely up. So I rush over here to go clear them. I press my ping thing here to see where the enemy team is, and there's no one here, so I know that these oracles are free for me. I just start fighting a mid lane. Sadly, my servers died,
been slain.
And right here, they do go. They go on my Cerberus here because he just he steps up for some reason. Now, now there are two plays that I could have made here. One is to get this guaranteed farm and then do my camps, or I could answer this gank right here and help fight with my team. But well, like I said earlier, ganks aren't always they aren't always guaranteed, and because they're not guaranteed, I don't go over this play here, es- especially because they have three of them, and the Cerberus just dies anyway.
An ally
I did see the Hun Bats was low HP, but these guys are still strong. And I could go and chase him for the kill, but if I do that, then he would then he'll most likely still get out, and and I would have to use my jump and my blink to make sure that he does die. And if it's all down, then these two guys could kill me for it. I mean, I still have my ults, but I don't feel like that.
has been slain. Your team
I
has
don't feel like chasing this
destroyed
guy
an enemy tower.
is really worth it here. But what is worth it is me doing my camps because this is guaranteed, while this is very iffy. All right, I'll skip forward a bit because I don't want to take too long on this video. I took the builds here, and I noticed that Poseidon has a pretty weak build at the moment. This Baron has this item, which means I gotta play, which means I have to play this option if I do go on him, and and everything's looking pretty good so far.
Gank left lane.
I called to gank left lane here because I saw the Hunbots. He he just backed, and so I'm thinking he's maybe gonna come in through this side, which now in hindsight is a mistake because I did see him gank my Cerberus from this side, which means if he came from this side of the jungle, then these camps are probably down, and and that's around the same amount of time for him to do the red buff at the same time like me, and then come over here. So these are most likely on the same timers. And I look to gank left lane here because I know that if I hit everything on Poseidon with my build, then he should die for it. But sadly, this Humbatsu shows up. I run away here. I actually do get almost caught out here.
Your middle tower is under attack.
I hear them doing this Queen Naga, so I place a ward out here. And right here, this and so right here, I warded to make sure where it was and to maybe see the health of it. And I throw my two in a chance that I will steal it because you always have to go for the shots. And luckily, luckily my two does steal it from them, which feels very bad. So this Baron positions very badly, and so I go on him here because he's in a mobile support, and he gets poked out, and because he's poked out, they lose the trade. A- a- And because the same team is weak here, I called to do the Pyromancer. Because we just poked out the Baron, he has no escape options even if he does come back. We have Wave Power here, which means well, which means once this Vulcan clears this wave, then our mini waves will push up, and it's a strong mini wave, which means they have to answer this wave here. And while they're doing that, we can we basically give and while this happens, we basically give them two options to do. One, they either have to answer this mini wave, or the second one is to contest this Parliaments with us. And
An ally has been slain.
if you can force them to, if you force the enemy team in a position like that, then it feels really bad for them, and it's a really good play for your team. I got to do Pyromancer here, but for some reason my Cerberus, the, my Cerberus decides to go other. He goes all the way up here, which means I do have to tank this. Now this is a very risky play that I do here, and because they are here and he most likely the Simbots will most likely ult us. That means this Pyromancer will probably there's a good chance of them stealing it, and I do take the risk that we can get it because we do have a Vulcan.
Destroyed
But
Pyromancer.
and luckily we do get it.
Your right
My Cerberus just destroyed the Simbots, so I wrap around to 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 flank them again. Now we do trade our Cerberus support for their combat jungler, which is always a win. And I wasn't afraid of me going in the fight because I still have my ult and my jump in case I were to actually almost die there. I went up here to go check their red buff again because my my red buff and their red buff timers should be the same. So I come up here to check, but sadly it's down. So I look to so
your middle tower.
I look to gank the Achilles here. I did misplay by ulting very early, but 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 fortunately my Bari ulted right when my Bari ulted so he could immune the Achilles ult from killing me, and we kill him for it. I, c- I come over here to do this war camp and to do all my camp rotations, and I call to do Gold Fairy because we are 5 man strong versus they're three, and by the time that we do finish the Gold Fairy, these guys won't be able to make it in time. Now for a second, I did see
On my way.
I saw some bots show up over here, so I looked for a potential gank opportunity. My teammates are still fighting in mid lane. We should be doing the Gold Fairy here.
Enemies in the left jungle.
So right here, I know there's a fight that's gonna happen, so I position all the way I position all the way up here to look for a good to look for a good flank angle. And as a jungler, you always want to look for good flanks and and catch them and catch them by surprise. And that's exactly what I do here. So right here, I don't jump on him immediately because he's just gonna flicker away. And I'm also worried about the Sunbots maybe coming over to come ult me. So if I do jump and the Sunbots does jump in and ult me, then I'll most likely die for it because I don't have my ults up and I don't have anything up. So so I save my jump right here. I back up right here because I know that the whole team might show up for this fight. I back up other here and make sure I stay hidden. So I see that that Poseidon's Kraken is down, and he doesn't know that I'm here. And and because of that, we wiped them here. I called to do the fire. I called to do Fire Giant here because their Achilles is the only person alive, and this is the best play to do. Now, sadly, our Vulcan does die. I right here was right here was a waste of time for my team. They start chasing this guy out when we should have done Fire Giant, and because of that, my Bari does almost die for it. Well, fortunately, we do get Fire Giant anyways. I pick up the dagger because I want to make sure that I can never die, and I'd much rather have it than any of my teammates because I know that I can make use of the dagger pretty well. I know how to time it right.
Your middle tower is under attack.
I do all these camps here. I call to do Gold Fairy. I see this Poseidon show up, and so I look for a a a potential a potential gank. I see he does step up. I blink 3M. I do my whole combo, and just like before, I pre-ulted in case he does knock me back, but he just Kragans me instead. Now I hear what's a misplay. Now so many so, now so many high level players when they run around a wall like this, whenever they run around a wall like this, and if you are a character with a jump, then most players will just jump to where they think they will be at if they keep running straight. But most high level players will almost always backpedal, and I do know that, but I do misplay by trying to run exactly where he is, and then he just he saved his one for that whole engagement because I think he learned from the first time that if he wants me while I ult, then I'll just stick to him. And he sadly does get out because I misplayed the jump there.
Enemy ultimate down.
But because he has no Kraken and he's poked out, this Gold Fury and this Naga should be very, very free for us. This Baron steps up and gets punished for it. Yeah, he didn't play that with this match. I do kind of back off here because I don't. So I do back off here because I want
Team has destroyed a middle enemy tower.
to maybe catch someone off guard in the jungle, and I don't have my ult, but I do have the dagger, so I do want to make use of this dagger while I have it. But right here, I saw that my Hun Butts was in the right lane, and Poseidon just showed in the left lane, which means the only people that could potentially be here would be the Achilles and the Merlin. So I clearly
Enemy
to
right flank.
to push this Phoenix with my team, and since we do have a mini wave, this gets started really fast.
Destroyed a middle enemy. Your left tower has been destroyed. Your right tower is
I
under
think we should have actually gone for the Phoenix here. There's only two of them strong. But I do call to do these objectives.
Your right tower is under attack.
And so right here, this is a play that I wish would happen more in ranked. So my teammates, they have FG and they have damage, so they will do this Pyromancer, and at the same time, I'll also do this objective and do the oracles, and that's called splitting objectives, because I know because I know that the enemy team will most likely not be able to actually catch up to these guys in time, so they can get this firemancer for free. And at the same time, I could also get this as well because I do have the damage for it. But
Your
but this is
team
still
has
pretty risky, and so I save my jump in case they do show up on me.
destroyed the pyromancer.
And I also make sure that I have enough mana to get this in case they do jump me here. Yeah, back off to all my camps here. I was gonna back right there, but I wanted
Your middle
to make sure
tower
that I
is
get
under attack.
the golden XP from the back camp. Oh my god. And my build looks a bit weird, but trust me,
Your right
it feels really well. It feels really good,
destroyed.
and it worked for me this game.
Attack right lane. Group up.
And so right here, I call to I call for my team to at least push the right 2 to tower while we still have FG up.
Enemy spotted.
They push the Hunbat all the way over here. I hug the wall in case he decides to to jump over. They call they call that he has no ult. Alright, so right here I saw him jump, so I thought I could actually stick to him. Yeah, he jumped right here, but he has Pendulum Blade, which means his jump. He he has Pendulum Blade, which reduced his cooldowns, which means he does get a second jump up for free.
Tower is under attack.
Alright, but if he didn't,
Tower has been
if he didn't have it, then he would most likely have died. So I chased him out here because I know I do win this fight.
Your middle tower has been destroyed. Your team has destroyed a right enemy tower.
And also I want my team to
Attack
to
right lane.
to push right lane. This Poseidon split pushes, he potentially could have caught the Phoenix, and for some reason he was not paying attention to the map. He didn't know we were coming, and we just killed him for it. And he's just dead for it. 500 with my 3. Good lord, that's crazy. I'm not sure why they gave Kelly's 3 damage, but I don't think that was a good decision by Harris. Right here, so right here, I did not. I thought about backing because I have quite a bit of gold, and I do want to reset to go do Fire Giant when it spawns. But I don't back, and the simple reason is because I want to hit level 20. I'm so close to hitting it. I notice th- th- these 2 XP camps back here are spawning, so I jump here and get them. I'll just fast forward a bit.
Attack fire giant.
I get just the right amount of gold for my sword, which is a big power spike for me. The Poseidon is still dead, so
The pyromancer has arrived.
this is a favorable fight for us if one does break out. And my Kraken does initiate the fight on this Baron who's out of position, and he's just dead for it. Yeah, this Baron kind of threw the game for them.
Fire giant.
Like, so I called to do Fire Giant because we just got a pick for free. Now Poseidon did respawn, but because it's now a 5v4, I want to make sure that we do get this Fire Giant. But my 2 tanks do decide to zone them out. And because they were zoned out, we have a lot of damage on this FG. Yeah, look at all this damage I'm doing to it. Yeah, this is why I think this build is really good. Now I was unable to finish it, but my next item would have been my next item would have been Water Tahuti, and my last item would have been would have been Nimbling, and because I have a lot of intelligence, that Nimbling would give me like one almost 2.5 attack speed. And with this build, no, you have a lot of attack speed, you have really good one-shot potential, and you have good and you have good and you have good objective damage. It has almost everything that you want in the build. Now, the only thing that I think this build would lack, like I said before, is maybe tank damage. But as a jungler, you don't really want to focus all your damage on tanks. And especially Kelly, she has her targets, which she gets extra penetration on anyways, and you always want to look for the the back line. Right here, I play a flank angle because I don't want to get caught into Hun ult. Now he does ult here, and they have no idea that I'm wrapping around like this. I throw my two, I jump on him, and he's just dead. And the whole team just loses, and they lose the game here. We just and we just swept the game, or
Victory.
we just we just win the game. Alright, a nice a nice 75 SR, a second top damage on my team. I mean flawless, and this is a very feels good moment. And so I hope you guys enjoyed my breakdown of my own game versus some really good players. Well, not really this guy, but I I do plan on making more like this, and and I do apologize for not having uploaded an ADC video for either yesterday or today because I was really busy. And I will stream tonight, so if you see this when it comes out, be sure to 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 watch me. All right? Oh my God, fucking voice crack. Alright, see ya.